Okay. All right. So it's a Friday, which means I'm here with Dr. Dahlia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm now that we've done our pre-interview off camera, a rare event in the world of the SPS podcast, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for listening to me.
And I'm delighted that your colonoscopy is behind you.
My colonoscopy was always behind me.
I know, it's a little wordplay.
I have to
end of the week wordplay.
I have to tell you something. Did I tell you that I due to sleeplessness, I think I entered a hypomanic state. From the second I walked into the hospital, I could not stop cracking inappropriate jokes.
Right. I wish this was on camera.
And so do I. And it reached a point where they were laughing so hard that they were like, "You have to stop. We have to get out of this room in half an hour. People are going to be mad at us." Anyway.
We have Aaron here.
We do. Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are watching the SPS podcast for the first time or who have not watched an episode featuring my Friday co-host, Dr. Dahlia, Aaron is Dahlia's fiance.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do right now is let the world know that I'm going to be there for the wedding of these lovely two ladies. And I'm so honored and delighted beyond. I'm also honored to have been asked to cast votes in terms of all of the styling choices for this magical event. I'm so happy that we're getting real like celebrity stylists and old school and dyeing your accessories. I am. Yay. And I'm going to make the controversial and perhaps edit-outable decision to give the two of you an idea to consider.
Always happy to hear your ideas.
Okay, so I came across this interview online with the world's most preeminent lawyer on the subject of prenuptial agreements.
Is this the clip that you sent me? Or
Yes.
Okay.
And he revealed that he had done over 1,000 of them, and that only five of those marriages ended in divorce.
Right. No, I was just actually talking to Aaron about this today.
Oh, really? Well, then maybe I'm out of date and irrelevant, but I'm going to say it for the benefit of the viewers who may be considering marriage. The logic behind, so my suggestion to you was to consider doing a prenuptial agreement on your own and having anyone you want be a witness to it as a signatory and whatnot, because anyone who can survive a conversation that awkward, difficult, and is going to make it.
Good job, us.
I agree.
You do?
I do.
Do you?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God, we're so in sync, and I don't mean that in a Justin Timberlake kind of way. So what do you have planned? It's going to happen in late July?
In late July seems to be the date.
Where?
That works for everybody. At City Hall, in Brooklyn City
Which
Hall.
one? Brooklyn City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else is going to happen that day? Are you going out to dinner before or after?
We haven't decided. Aaron had a kind of fun idea, which was because it's right around the corner from the Transit Museum.
Yes.
And she thought that going to the Transit Museum after might be a great place for some photo shooting on some like vintage subway cars.
Yes. Okay. How about this? How about you get to the wedding by subway?
Right.
Yeah, that's my plan.
We take photos and yet again, Erin is stealing my thunder. She has the same exact idea, I'm sure. You'll have a photo album that is transit themed because you are moving through life together.
Oh. Look at you being the copywriter.
Thank you. Plus, the truth is in New York City, people feel so honored when they're in a subway car that a bride gets on.
Yeah.
Will they know that I'm a bride because you think because I have that teeny tiny little veil?
A, you're wearing a tiny veil, and B, I'm going to shout it really loud to everyone who listens.
I mean, I feel like all the cues are gonna be there. Like I'll be there and looking ridiculous, and you'll be there looking fabulous.
Uh-huh.
There's gonna be a
Camera.
bouquet of flowers, a
Oh, true.
camera, and a handful of random guests.
And
So
you're going, and Erin, you're going to look. By the way, Erin, I never told you this, but I like you so much. And most of the reasons are conscious, but one of them has been unconscious, which is that you remind me of someone familiar who I like or love, and I have not been able to put my finger on whom until last week.
Who is this person?
You look like my favorite aunt, my legal father's sister, Gail.
Oh, cool.
So just thought you should know that. And I think you're going to look beautiful as well because I hear you're wearing a cowboy shirt.
Wearing a cowboy shirt.
I love cowboy shirts.
Yeah, I had like a couple really nice ones, but then I decided today that it would be fun to get like a really nice new one. So I got a nice new one, is on the way. I think Wrangler does my favorite cowboy shirt. Like the cut's just really good.
It's great.
Black pants and then like an old black cowboy hat from my dad.
Wow.
And a bolo tie.
Bolo tie.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, from this point forward, I declare this glamorous and insouciant event to be the dawn of a new era. It is the comeback of the lesbian in popular culture.
Excellent.
Oh.
After years of gender fluid nonsense, they're saying, I'm saying this, not them. Send your calls of complaint to me, not them. We are seeing a revival of lesbian chic in all of its forms. Butch, femme, casual, formal, everywhere and anywhere in between. I love it, and you should too.
I would love for that to be true.
Now, Dahlia,
Yes.
Erin, I've also decided that as much as I love Donald Trump, I disagree that there are only two sexes, and there are four sexes. There are men, there are women.
Okay.
There are the intersex, and there are the trans. And each one of them is magical in their own way and should be treated as such. I have also decided that there are only four orientations. There is heterosexual, there is homosexual, there is undecided, and there is paraphilic. Paraphilic meaning the attraction to a kink, fetish, or object is so intense that it obliviates desire for an actual human being.
Interesting. Okay.
No, I'm putting my foot down, people. J.K. Rowling doesn't have anything on me. This is all there is. Deal with it. Undecided is a beautiful category. Your opinion, Dahlia and Erin.
So where does bisexuality fit into that?
Bisexuality doesn't exist.
Oh, interesting. So
Well,
is it undecided?
Look, here's the thing. I've spoken to many bisexual people. My observation is that up to the age of 40, they're actually undecided. They long for a clear direction. And after the age of 40, they're selfish because they don't think about the state of confusion or disorientation that they might put a long-term partner into.
Mm-hmm.
So, your thoughts? Feel free to disagree.
I have not spoken to enough people or done enough research to have thoughts on the topic.
Well, I tend to attract bisexuals, so I have. Erin,
Okay.
how do you chime in on this?
I think that I probably disagree, just because I don't think that it has to be that hard lined, and
In general?
in general, and I don't think that, I think that people can be fluid at different parts of their lives, and I think that it can change, and attraction can change, and needs and desires can change. And I don't think that you need to make a decision about that necessarily at any given time, because then I think it limits your options.
Well, I agree with you.
So
I
I think
I agree with what you just said.
if we were operating under your 4 gender or your 4 orientations,
Which are offered in half jest, you know.
I guess I would say that everybody is undecided, is how I like to think about it.
No, I've definitely decided.
I
And
have also definitely decided.
Okay.
aw. And I want you to know that even though we have a minute fractional difference of opinion on the subject, I still adore you tremendously.
Oh, thank you very much. I also adore you tremendously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. What do I have next? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I need to connect my computer to power. I just watched a television series, and I wanted to blow my brains out by the time I was done with it. Do you have any recommendations for what's new in television programming or streaming?
Well, I believe we were talking about Hacks, and I think you haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't. I can't access it here in the communist land of China, given my budget. But
Okay.
but I actually saw a preview and I'm very interested. Anything else that you
Well,
love?
Aaron and I, today was very rainy. So Aaron and I spent the day finishing up the latest season of You on Netflix, which is trashy but compelling. And not only could we not stop watching, but it made me, it's the final season of the show. So this is the end. And it really made me want to go back and rewatch some of the previous seasons, because those of you who watch shows on Netflix know that there is often a big gap between seasons.
Yes.
And I have a terrible memory. So my memory is very hazy from seasons 1, 2, and 3. And I remember season 4, but I enjoyed it. So we were actually talking about possibly going back and rewatching some of the previous seasons, even though it is trashy television.
Well, something's going on in popular culture because in terms of aesthetics and genres, we've reached a point where many times what's trashy gives us more to work with.
That's completely how I feel. And
more to think about.
Yep.
And I really view it as an outgrowth of Andy Warhol's work.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, why are we so obsessed with this idea that things that are magnificent, interesting, and worthy can't also be fun?
Right.
Or easily understandable? It's so elitist. Now, don't get me wrong. There's so much trash that is worthless.
Right.
But there's also so much that's quite worthwhile.
And Penn Badgley, who is the actor who plays the central character, does a really fantastic job. And there's a brilliant use of voiceover in the show, which of course has echoes to film noir. I mean, it's as you said, it's a very rich show with lots of references, and I found it very enjoyable. And I'm a little bit sad that there will be no more seasons.
What's it about?
It is about it's about a serial killer, and it is told where he is the hero, but he is a serial killer who desperately wants to love and be loved. And so each season, for the most part, he falls in love with a different woman and then becomes kind of obsessed with her. and then ends up kind of killing people in what he sees her in her defense. Like he views himself very much as being like a white knight. So he has this image of himself not as a serial killer, but as this like sort of tortured romantic. And he's a very handsome actor. He's incredibly charming. Like it's very easy to kind of fall in love with him and root for him, even though, he might keep women in a cage for weeks at a time. So it's interesting how it kind of plays on all that.
Well, this show makes perfect sense, considering your love of Law and Order.
And Law and Order SVU is one of my favorite shows of all time.
So Law and Order SVU is definitely the best SVU.
Yes. I'm so glad.
I stopped watching it a few years ago, but it's a show that is simultaneously trashy and extremely relevant and important.
And really well done.
Yeah.
It's really well made.
Sandra Bernhard played a judge once.
Oh my God, did she? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it was SVU.
There's a joke that I think like every actor has had a role in one of the Law and Orders.
The joke, do you want to hear the version I heard?
Yeah.
Every struggling actor in New York City longs to be a corpse in the cold open of a Law and Order.
I believe that take on it as well.
Here's another question for you. Do you take any nutritional supplements?
I take lots of nutritional supplements.
I'm going to go over, so as a result of all of my health issues and my dissatisfaction with the care that I'm receiving, and it's not because the doctors don't want to, it's because their hands are tied behind their backs legally. They don't want to deal with the sort of censure from their governing board, the way that Jordan Peterson has with his. And he's another Canadian. And so I've just decided that I'm going to cut down to 1 meal a day and take a whole bunch of supplements. They just came in.
Okay.
This is going to be a somewhat abbreviated episode.
Okay.
We're going to go to longer episodes next week after you are on sabbatical. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
To work on the book in earnest. And if you'd like, after we're done, you can run over to the kitchen or bathroom or whatever and show me some of your favorites.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm going off metformin, which is an anti-diabetes drug that I take.
I take metformin.
Okay.
You're going off it?
It's more beneficial. It's more beneficial for women than men.
Okay.
And I'm taking it out of, and I'm going off of it because there's a few reasons. First of all, I want to see if I can keep my blood sugar low on my own. It gives me more incentive to stay off carbs. The other thing is that I'm about to enter, after years and years and years of having fallen off the cart, I'm going to go back to lifting heavy. Okay. And metformin slightly reduces exercise resistance and recovery.
Interesting.
Also, given all of my GI stuff, I think it's important to have as few pharmaceuticals working on my GI tract as possible.
Okay.
And here's what I'm replacing it with. A teaspoon per day of this. Which has been shown in multiple clinical trials to be equally effective as 500 milligrams a day of metformin.
Should I do that? Add that to my routine?
Well, I don't know why you take metformin. People take it for lots of different reasons.
We're trying to see if it will help with some weight loss.
Do you lift really heavy?
No.
Try it. Try it. You really,
yeah.
And give it 6 months and give it 6 months.
Okay. But should I also do the cinnamon or no?
Do you like the taste of it?
I do like cinnamon.
Okay, but it has to be Ceylon cinnamon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. All right. The next thing is, Another thing is I'm such a huge fan of the 1950s and 60s and their golden age of both nutritional supplements and pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
All of the drugs that I'm going to continue to take were invented prior to 1970.
Okay.
And the same goes for my nutritional supplements. So rather than taking B vitamins, which are so important for energy, metabolism, etc., I'm going with nutritional yeast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only cheaper than a really, really good B vitamin, but I actually like the taste of it a lot.
I put it on popcorn.
You do?
Yeah,
Does it taste like cheese?
it does. It's delicious.
Excellent. Next, I was not breastfed. My mother grew up at an age where doctors and friends told her that formula is not just as good as breast milk, but better.
Mm-hmm.
She's also a very shy woman and didn't want to do that in public. So in the wake of all of my GI stuff, I came up with a theory. And my theory is that GI tract problems, and by extension, bipolar disorder, because I'm starting to think that's a microbiome thing, could be caused by the lack of breast milk. Because breast milk isn't just nutrition, it's also programming.
Mm-hmm.
So breast milk is to food what Hebrew is to language.
Mm-hmm.
I think you know what I mean by that.
Yes.
It's more than the words. It's also the fact that it's a word.
Mm-hmm.
So to compensate for that, and by the way, if my mother sees this, she's going to be horrified. Mom, it's not a big deal. I'm going to be taking this.
Oh, colostrum. Okay.
Do you take that?
I have taken it in the past, but I don't take it now.
Okay. Does it do anything for you?
I didn't notice, which is why I stopped.
Okay. This is another product that I'm oddly obsessed with the flavor of. So this is like a treat for me.
Okay. It's a powder?
Yeah. I like put it in my mouth dry and just go.
What a weirdo.
Sunflower lecithin. I love the taste of this.
Oh.
Sunflower lecithin provides choline, which improves memory, drive, cognition. It tastes great on food. I personally don't believe that high cholesterol is a big deal. I'm more concerned about triglycerides, but this is very good for cholesterol levels in a mainstream sense. And it does lots of other things as well.
And how do you take all these powders?
So some of the stuff, so my new regimen is that as soon as I wake up, I take my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Then after my workout, I do one of those ginger, lemon, garlic, raw garlic, like raw honey things. Those elixirs that people are taking nowadays to perk them up without the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets followed by a pot of tea made with, I have to go off coffee for a while. The acidity is not good for me right now. So I'm making a tea consisting of lemon and grapefruit peel, hibiscus, yerba mate, which has almost as much caffeine as coffee, and then in the middle of the day having a full meal, which consists of a salad, an entree, and a side. And to answer your question, a lot of this stuff gets sprinkled on salad.
Okay.
Then I go back to work because I'm basically modeling my day like it might be if I lived in a country that still had a siesta.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it lines up. So then around 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm going to have a protein drink. I'm not showing you the protein. It's boring. Everyone knows about protein powder. And a lot of the other stuff that's like harder to eat as food will be going into that.
Got it. Okay.
Along with things that I love the taste of, like coffee and cacao, which is an amazing antioxidant, and so on and so forth. Castor oil, which I love for my hair, my skin. It's good. I find it personally useful to be good for constipation and stomach aches. I've used it in almost all of the personal care products that I make and might be gifting to you too,
Mhm.
although you didn't hear me say that. Rosemary oil to put in the castor oil.
Mhm.
I also if I don't use rosemary, I'll use frankincense, and I'll also add olive oil. Wheat germ oil, which is delicious for salads, and it contains the form of vitamin E that in most studies is correlated with good cardiovascular health. Potassium, because I don't want to be on blood pressure medication anymore.
Do you have high blood pressure?
Yeah, very high when it's not treated. The other thing that I do for high, and by the way, these aren't all my supplements. I'm not going to bore you with all of them.
Mhm.
But the other thing that I take for high blood pressure is niacin.
Mhm.
And I love that feeling. Have you ever taken it?
Yeah, the flush.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was terrified the first month I took it because I felt like I was going to become a victim of spontaneous human combustion. But then I learned to really like it, and I realized that I can tell whether or not I'm absorbing the nutrients by whether or not I feel that half an hour after taking it, because I take all the pills in one,
Mhm.
right? So it's great for that. I've been hesitant to. I'm conflicted about sweeteners. On one hand, there's so many health benefits of things like honey. On the other hand, conventional sugars are awful for you. Lots of carbs in the things like honey, and artificial sweeteners are not acceptable to me because of what they do to the microbiome.
Mhm.
So what I decided was that I can't live without any sweeteners at all,
Mhm.
because for two and arguably three sweeteners, there are so many health benefits and they're used in such tiny amounts that I refuse to worry.
Mhm.
The first one is raw manuka honey, or even better, royal jelly.
I use the Manuka honey.
Oh, you do? Do you use it on your face or do you eat it?
I put it in my tea.
Okay, you love it?
I love it.
Here's the other thing that I'm really interested in. I've gotten so interested in the food of Israel and Lebanon. Not that there's any difference really. Malta, Greece, etc. Turkey as well. That whole part of the world to which I feel so close. Their secret, date syrup.
Mhm. We have some of that at home.
Oh, you do?
Erin has used it.
Okay. Um, uh, um,
How do
there's
you?
there's allulose in date syrup, which I never knew.
Mhm.
Allulose is not legal in Canada.
Oh.
It's a natural sweetener that has anti, hyper, and hypoglycemic properties. So
Hmm.
this is excellent for regulating blood sugar. And to put this with vinegar, apple cider vinegar, of course, and olive oil, and some, lemon juice. No, not lemon juice for this, more like a grapefruit juice, maybe. Delicious.
Mhm.
And the last one I'm going to share with you is cayenne.
Mhm.
The amount of cayenne that you need to take to have it be um, of medicinal benefit is more than I'm willing to taste.
Mhm.
And I find the burning that I get in my stomach to be incredibly appetite suppressing.
Okay.
But more importantly, cayenne actually improves your digestion, especially of proteins,
Mhm.
in its encouragement of certain gastric juices. And it's also highly effective against parasites.
Do you take it as a capsule?
Yep. One in the morning, one in the evening.
Mhm.
So do you have any that you want to share or talk about?
Let's see. I love evening primrose oil.
Oh yeah.
That's done great things for my skin, and it's supposed to be very beneficial.
Do you do it
Um,
internally as well, or just
internally,
yeah.
it helps regulate hormones,
Yeah.
and it like reduces breakouts.
Yes.
And so I've had really good experiences with that. I take vitamin D. because I have tested low for vitamin D before. So I'm trying to be conscientious about taking vitamin D. I take iron because I have been low for iron before. I do not take these every day.
Okay.
Um,
Iron is tricky.
Iron is tricky. I take it every few days.
Yeah.
And my iron levels are now okay. Like I do my annual blood work and I always check for the iron and the vitamin D. And they're both okay now.
You know that I have that Mediterranean anemia?
I did
That,
not know that.
yeah, you know the one that Sicilians and Israelis and yeah.
Yeah. So do you
Yeah,
take
so I have low iron, and you know, in this country, men don't get anemia. It's not low enough to treat. So I was like, F that, I'm treating it. I feel fatigued. So I use desiccated beef liver tablets.
Okay.
There's no better assimilated source of iron in the entire world for human beings. The doses are really low, so I can take it every day, and they contribute to a rewarding lack of fatigue, the fatigue that absolutely crippled me the entire month of December and in other times of my life. What else do you love?
I take B vitamins.
Sublingual injection.
I take sublingual B12.
Okay.
I think I was told to take that. It's funny because you're told at different points to take things and then you forget exactly why. But I think I was told to take that with the metformin.
Yeah, because metformin depletes B12.
There you go. Okay. What else do I take? I take way too many things. Let me go get some bottles and I'll be right back.
Oh, we could have a contest. Who takes more stuff? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a highly personal episode. This conversation is not intended to be a substitution nor simulation of medical advice. In terms of the choice of topic, we are getting very personal and very real. And back to our show.
I take vitamin C.
Oh my God. Do you like that brand?
I love this brand.
I love that brand. YouTube. We are not being paid by Now or any of these companies, although I wish we would be, in which case we would tell you. So you take vitamin C.
I take vitamin C. I take B6 in addition to B12.
Yes.
I take CoQ10.
Brilliant choice.
Okay, and you can feel free to tell me if you think that I'm wasting my time with any of these.
Dahlia, I have news for you.
Yeah.
I think we take the same amount of supplements.
That does not surprise me. We're like, basically siblings. Resveratrol.
Another great choice, because who wants to drink wine?
Not me. This is the evening primrose.
Okay.
That I take. This is the vitamin D that I take.
You take a lot of it.
I take a lot of it, but I don't take it every day.
Okay, how often?
I take one pill. Sorry, Bowie is angling to get on camera. I take one pill every couple days.
Okay. I do 10,000 IUs daily, but I'm a lot bigger than you.
Okay.
And I'm willing to have liver failure in the name of the muscle building effects of doses that high in men.
You think it might cause you liver failure?
I mean, I'm kind of joking. I would never take more than 10,000 IUs a day, but at 10,000 IUs, it turns excess calories into muscle instead of fat.
Oh.
Because it suppresses myostatin, which is the substance in the body that is more concerned for calorie storage than muscle building.
Mm-hmm.
Like hypothetically, if you were to take 50,000 IUs for an extended period of time, you'd start growing muscle without working out.
Wow.
But I'm not going to do that. That's too dangerous.
Aaron had me start taking lion's mane.
Oh, I don't know about that. What's that for?
It's a mushroom and it's supposed to be good for memory.
Is it working?
Not that I can tell. But you know, who knows? I don't know if I'll buy it again after this bottle. And then this is the iron that I take, but I don't know if I should do the desiccated beef liver tablets instead.
I'm going to tell you what I would tell anyone that I ramble on to about all of my nutritional supplements. You should definitely talk to your doctor.
Okay.
That said, it does seem like a safer bet to me.
Okay.
And you know, the thing is, you could always take it for 3 months, get your blood tested, and if your doctor doesn't like what he or she sees, they can tell you to go back to what you were taking.
Right.
I just hate stuff that you can't take every day because it confuses me.
I understand. Well, basically what I do is I just have all my supplements. I just don't take every day.
Yeah.
So I kind of take I'm like, oh, every other day or every 2 days.
Yeah, you have rotations. That's what I do. That's what what was the last thing you said?
Oh, that I just said every day, every other day, or every 2 days.
I do that with, okay, to get all let's get Suzanne Summers on everyone. So I do that with my injectables. So I inject my testosterone Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Because I don't want the highs and the lows.
Mm-hmm.
I am bipolar, allegedly. And I take Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, HCG, which is the hormone upstream of that.
Okay.
It also contributes to testosterone production, but it preserves, not to be indiscreet, testicular volume.
Mm-hmm.
And hormones are complicated because if you just replace one, you ruin the sequence.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Are you on hormone replacement?
I am.
Do you believe in it?
I trust my doctors who recommended it, and so yeah, I believe in it. My psychiatrist actually said that it was good to get on it kind of early, because it's good for brain health.
I actually was shocked that my mother, I'm shocked that it was never offered to my mother because she lives in a very wealthy neighborhood, and you know, doctors in wealthy neighborhoods are more likely to recommend that.
Well, none of my regular doctors recommended it.
Who was it? Your psychiatrist?
Well, my psychiatrist recommended it, but then I actually joined this online service.
Okay.
To get it's called MIDI, MIDI.
YouTube, this is not a paid endorsement.
and that's how I get my hormone replacement.
Well, you know what? I've noticed in my psychiatrist a real sincere and exuberant interest in nutritional supplements and in taking care of one's own health in other areas to make sure that what's going on actually is psychiatric. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense to me. And to be honest with you, when I move back to the States, I'm not going to be going to a doctor for hormone replacement therapy. I'm going to be going online. I think that in the States, I'm lucky to have a really good endocrinologist here, like arguably the best one for androgen replacement in Canada. Mm-hmm. But in the States, it's going to be different, and I'm going to use an online service too. Mm-hmm. I've loved this.
Yeah, this was great.
You know what I've loved about it? It's so personal.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be people who watch this and are like, this is so self-indulgent and uninteresting to me. And there are other people who are going to be captivated and inspired by it. And it also helps people know that gods and goddesses like us are also people.
Who take supplements.
Yes, lots of them. Could I say goodbye to Erin?
Erin? Sean wants to say goodbye.
And in the meantime, is there anything you want to tell everyone?
Well, I was just curious if there was TV that you were watching. now that you've finished Severance?
If I don't find something, I'm going to rewatch Mad Men.
Okay, well, I can always, assign you something to watch.
That is your job, isn't it? So I hope Erin didn't go away because
No, she's coming back.
okay.
And then
I was concerned that my attempt at comedy and my denouncement of gender fluidity caused her to flee the room.
No.
Did you cut your hair in the past 5 minutes?
What?
What'd you ask?
Did you
No.
cut your hair in the past 5 minutes?
No.
Oh, I didn't notice that side. Okay.
No,
I'm looking forward to seeing the two of you in real life.
I can't wait.
We can't wait.
And here's something to think about for next week. Ladies and gentlemen, on the next Friday installment of the SPS podcast with your co-host, Dr. Dahlia, we will be discussing, amongst other topics in mass media and popular culture, the possibility of podcasting the entire wedding ceremony. Bye.